Welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans, everybody. We are so happy that you are here today. And we want to give a very special welcome to anybody who's joining us that's brand new. This is TNT, the nation's longest running free coaching program for notaries. And a very special hello to all of our friends watching on YouTube at the replay. Thank you so much for catching up with us here on YouTube. It's great to see you. You are stepping into a mastermind that feels like spring for your business. Fresh energy, new growth, and a community of experienced pros and curious driven notaries who truly want to see each other thrive. This is TNT. We go live every week to plant new ideas, nurture what's already working, celebrate real progress, and coach you through the strategies that help your business bloom. Now, this is an Ask Me Anything style call, so we will be taking questions from raised hands. You can find the raised hand feature right at the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you don't see it down there, a little outline of a hand, check under the word more, the three little dots that have the word more. You can check the chat for our rules and any kind of information about guests or any of the events that we're talking about today, as well as room etiquette and anything else that we're talking about. Go ahead and check out the chat for that. And we may get to questions in the chat, but we do prioritize those raised hands. But first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jen Neitzel. I am the creator of Marketing for Notaries and the co-creator of the the co-creator of the Certified Notary Trust Delivery Agent program. I'm gonna get this right one of these days. And I am joined by my co-host, the 2026 National Notary Association Notary of the Year, Miss Laura
Yay.
Beaver. I want to
Thank
get that.
you.
I want to get that little like horn sound that's like do 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 in the background when I say that. How are you today, Laura?
I am super fine. It is a beautiful day out here in Modesto. I took my dog for a walk and it was so lovely. A little
Yeah.
light breeze in the air, not too hot. It was
I'm
nice.
so happy spring has sprung. Although this weekend it was 95 degrees on Saturday. So
That's too hot
we're
for
just
me.
going to overlook that and pray we stay back in the 70s. We are joined, of course, on this call by Matt Miller, the president of the California League of Independent Notaries. How are you today, Matt?
I'm good. How are you, Jen? Hello, everyone.
I'm doing awesome. We have an incredible show planned for you guys today. But before we get to that, let me roll through a couple of announcements. And I kind of want to start with Laura. Laura, tell me about this awesome new book and where you are in your review challenge.
Well, first of all, if you're doing hospital, hospice, homebound signings, this new book I put out called The Compassionate Notary Field Guide for any notary walking into those rooms, it will help you understand what's special about that kind of work and how to protect yourself when you're doing that kind of work. And the link will be in the chat, but you can get it at my own website, coachmelora.com/books. Matt, my what do you call it? My URL is spelled wrong. I just happened to see it.
Oh,
So if you could
oh, that's
retype
horrible.
it, yeah, coach is
Oh, it is.
it's spelled
Oops.
wrong, so that won't be working. And then regarding my challenge, guys, I'm almost there. My goal was in the first 90 days, which happened on Sunday, to have 50 reviews and 500 books. That was the goal, a stretch for me. And I'm so close. I'm at 47 reviews. I'm only 3 reviews short.
Uh,
So
Come
close.
on, guys.
If you happen to have read it and it did something good for you, please go to Amazon.com, look up my book, and post me a review. Just a sentence or two would help so much. So I am just almost there.
I bet we can get three people on this call that have read that book and are familiar with it to go to the link in the chat, guys, the Amazon link in the chat for Laura's book and leave your review so she can hit her goal. What an incredible thing that you were able to do that this week, Laura. So congratulations. Melissa said she just got the book. She's going to read it tonight and leave you a review first thing tomorrow morning, she said. Right, Melissa? Wink, wink. Um,
You don't have to read the whole thing. As soon as you like something, that's what I'm going to write about.
That's what I'm going to write about. Yes. All right, guys. As you know, we have been considering a time change for this call. So at the halfway point, I am going to put up a poll that asks you to answer this question. Do you want to change the time of Tuesday Notary Titans to 8 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Mountain time, 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, every Tuesday? Of course, we're not going to change the day, just the time. We will have three options: yes, no, or I don't care. So let us know. And then next week, we'll have all the data and let you know what we are going to do about that call. But let's get to the meat of this call today because we have a very special guest joining the panel today to answer all of your questions. This week's special guest panelist is Beth Hathoot. Beth is a seasoned notary public and educator with over 24 years of experience and a background in the title and escrow industry. She's now in her seventh year as lead instructor at Notary Stars. Beth specializes in loan signing training, providing a unique perspective on the intricacies of real estate transactions. Beth also has had the privilege of sitting on the panel. Um,
Panel
I'm
of
not
eight.
sure where
What is
that's.
your panel of
Signing
eight, Beth?
Professionals Workshop.
Yeah, SPW.
Oh, SPW. Okay.
There's a whole.
Like, missing. That's okay.
all missing.
Yeah, there's like a line missing there.
My cue cards were messed up. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry about that, Beth. I guess I just didn't post the whole thing. I just stopped at on a panel of 8 with and stopped there.
Yes.
Um, Beth is the co-author of The Accidental Notary. She is dedicated to eliminating risky habits and lack of education that can jeopardize a notary's commission. Her mission is to empower professionals to move beyond passing a test and focus on risk reduction and the advanced document knowledge necessary to build a professional, trusted notary business. Welcome, Beth. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, everybody, Jen, Laura, and Matt, for having me on today. I appreciate it. And Laura, congratulations, Notary of the Year, NNA Notary of the Year. It's about time.
I know, right?
Took a while, but I never get tired of hearing it now.
Yeah.
So wait, you just retired from NNA, didn't you?
April 15th is my retirement day. It's coming.
So they knew they wanted you to be Notary of the Year. They just had to wait until you were not part of the family directly. See?
Yeah. They wanted to send you off with a bang, Laura. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Well, Beth is going to be joining our panel discussion today. So, as we do every week, if you have questions about your notary business, any technical notary questions, marketing questions, all you have to do is raise your virtual hand to get in line. You will find your raised hand feature right at the bottom of this screen. But first, I have asked Beth to tell us about this new program certification that you guys are doing over at Notary Stars because you're doing things a little differently these days. So I wanted to chat about that.
We are. This year has um, kind of flipped on its ear. We have always promoted ourselves as a continuing education course, not a certification course. And that's still true. But we kept getting requests from platforms like Signing Order and Stewart Titles platform Signature Closers and Jot saying we need a way to offer to those subscribers to our platform, those signing services and title companies, we need a way to verify that the notaries that they're offering these jobs to actually have the skills that they claim they have.
Yeah.
So we got busy and we put together a very high level, stringent exam. And we're kind of disseminating that and saying, if you got the right stuff. Come fly with us. Let's take
Yeah.
the exam. So,
Yeah, I love that. And I think, I'm sure you've gotten this question or this pushback comes to Laura and I frequently as creators of a certification in this space as well. But is this something you have to be a notary star? Is this something you have to do to work as a notary is to have your certification?
oh, absolutely not. It's not a requirement. I will say the NNA exam is a requirement along with that background screening. It seems that every signing service, not every, but a lot of them want that requirement because it comes tied with that background
Yeah,
screening. So they
yeah,
want that through NNA.
yeah,
To have your Notary Stars certified signing agent professional designation is
mhm,
not a requirement, but it puts a beacon over your head in
yeah,
signing order. We specifically have a filter in signing order in Jot in signature closers that says this person has been put through the ringer,
hmm.
rigorously tested, and they actually possess the skills to be that professional notary that you're looking for. So it's a
Yeah, and
benefit
that,
to the signers, I mean, to the notaries and the signers and the hiring parties. But is
yeah,
it a requirement?
no,
No,
yeah. It's such
no.
a great differentiator, though, and I think that um, it's, looking at intensive education as a differentiator to get more jobs, especially when you're working through the signing services. It's almost like it's part of your marketing budget. If you're
Yeah,
not out marketing face to face and doing relationship marketing with people, right? It's almost like that's an investment in your marketing
precisely.
because it is such a distinction. You made it through that, you passed that test. Because I've heard it's a doozy.
It is. It's 100 questions. We do give you an hour to complete it. If you fail it, you can go back and take it one more time. Or you can come back to Notary Stars and go through our guided training. We have a specific guided training course to help you pass that exam rather than just showing up just randomly for live classes or looking at random information on the website. We actually now have a guided course that will take you through that system.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that clarity with that. I've been, watching, and obviously we have a partnership with Notary Stars and CNTDA, Certified Notary Trust Delivery Agent Training. So it's, we see a lot of people taking interest in your this certification and realizing the power behind it. So thank you for talking about that. But we have some hands up, so we're going to get to those because that is why we're here is to tap into that Beth Hathoot brain. Hi, Asia. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing great. First, I wanted to say that last week's call was amazing. I still go back and watch it just to catch some more tips and stuff like that. So that was one of the best calls I've watched since I
Thanks.
did this call.
Thank
Um,
you.
no problem. This question is for you, Jen. So it actually encouraged me to go out there and do some direct marketing, and I did
Yay.
that. I did that on Friday. So my question is, I left my business card. I spoke to some escrow officers. When should I do follow up?
24 to 48 hours. So if you said you went Thursday or Friday last week?
Friday.
Friday? Yeah. So today I would get and if you don't have time to do it today, please don't panic. Just do it first thing tomorrow.
Okay.
Make sure you reach back out to the folks you talked to. It is okay to put all the same people from the same office on the same email and just let
Okay.
them know you're the one that, stopped by with whatever it is you stopped by. Remember, you're not hard selling at this point. All you're saying is, I'm here. I want you to be aware of my services in case you need it. And you're going to do the heavy lifting, Asia, in your monthly touch point email,
Okay.
where every month you're staying in touch with either your newsletter or some kind of value-based email that lets them know that you're still out there without you having to go stand in front of them and remind them.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Keep me posted. I want to hear how this goes. That's so exciting. I'm glad you got out and did. I know that's something that's been weighing on your mind for a little while too. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you got out there and did it. I'm proud of you. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'll keep you posted.
Oh, yeah, please do. Keep me posted.
All right.
Hi, Carla in California. What can we do for you today?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
I came across a situation for signing. This gentleman apparently was supposed to have our signing at 10 o'clock, and then he called me. I can't find my driver's license. Then he calls me again 2 hours later. He says that my street is under construction, so I have to wait 2 hours. And I said, okay, that's fine. I'll read is scheduled at 4 o'clock. So finally, I
Okay, Carla, you're breaking up a little
scheduled
bit.
at 4 o'clock, met him at the Starbucks. Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Let's go ahead and get to the question, just in case you
Okay,
cut
he
out again.
presented a driver's license, California driver's license that I've never seen before. The features is different the way it looks like. And it says, it is my driver's license. He didn't look like this driver's license. And we just,
So Carla's breaking up again, you guys. So so Carla, I think we kind of have the gist here. I would love to get Laura and Beth's take on this. Beth, do you want to go first?
so,
These
I'm gonna,
trouble
Carla,
like
I'm gonna go ahead
behind
and mute you. Carla, I apologize. Your sound is really bad. So you keep breaking up. It's okay. I think we got the gist of it. So Beth,
okay.
with this guy showing what appears to be a false ID, how do you handle that situation? What do you do?
Well, for one thing, she's fortunate that she's in a public place because
Right.
that could be a little bit tight if she was
Yeah.
in his
Yeah.
home or something similar. If the notary is absolutely not comfortable with the ID that's presented, it doesn't look like him. It's
Right.
totally their discretion to say, I'm going to need a different ID. And now we're in a public place. How do you get credible witness if she's even in a state that can use credible witness? It's a problem. The big thing is maybe to see what else he has in his wallet. If it's a fake ID, guys, they usually aren't going to have more than one fake ID on them,
Mhm.
right? If it's forged, it's usually going to be the photo ID. The rest of the stuff in their wallet isn't going to be for the same guy. So maybe
Yeah.
take a peek at that. That could be a secondary avenue for you. If it was me in that situation, I would place a call to the
Mhm.
signing service that hired me and saying, having trouble identifying this person.
Mhm.
Um,
And these fake IDs nowadays are not normally,
I'm sorry to cut in. This is Cheryl in California. October 1st, they totally changed the driver's license. I think that's what she's looking at is it looks totally different. I think it was a real driver's license. I just wanted to put that out there. It's only been in effect since October of last year.
hey, Matt, you want to go ahead and address that?
Yes. Did it look like that?
Wait, it hasn't popped up yet. There we go. Carla, did it look like that? And you can just come off, turn your camera on and nod your head because I know your microphone's having a little. We have been informed there's a
You
change.
lose her altogether, Carla?
She's not. I don't know if she
It's
can hear.
black and white.
It was black. Oh,
It's black and white, yeah.
then yeah, that was probably a fake.
Well,
yeah,
let me tell you something. And I think I've said this before on this call. I have young adult children who wanted to be of legal drinking age when they weren't. And we're all college students and went and got fake IDs. And we've run them under the black lights and we've tested them on different things and they pass, guys. Like there's some really good fake IDs out there right now. It's more important than ever that we stay on top of this. But Laura, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
I think Beth really covered it. And I think the most important thing is this, two things. One is that you contact whoever hired you, if it wasn't that person, such as a loan signing, and let them know what your concern is. And the other thing is, as the notary, You're the one sitting in the chair. You're the one that has to defend your actions after the fact. So if you do not have what is called satisfactory evidence, that doesn't just mean he has the right kind of card. It means that the card meets requirements. And if I'm not satisfied with that, I know that the cards are in color and I'm being presented something black and white. That's it. I'm not going to go further with that and say, I don't know why your card is in black and white. My understanding is they're always in color. I'm not going to be able to accept this card.
Mm-hmm. Matt, I know I wanted you to just bring up what you just wrote in the chat about the webinar that you did last October.
Yeah, so we did a webinar on this as part of our monthly roundtable last October, where I went over all the features and the changes and the differences and how to tell if it's real or not. And if you're a paid CLN member, you can access that on the CLN website in the video library. But the things that California notaries and notaries across the country should know about, there's some basic things. So as you saw, the border has changed dramatically. There's no more mag strip on the back of the ID, and the imagery has changed from the Great Seal to the bear. So those are three things right away that you probably will notice. It doesn't mean that they're fake, but in Carla's example, she said that the person presented a black and white ID. Well, that we all know is not real, or not genuine, rather, and should not be accepted. And to Jen's point, guys, IDs now are very easily created via AI. In fact, there's a story that the NNA broke last year of a gentleman who created a fake Poland passport, which passed USCIS. And then he came out and admitted that he had faked it using AI as part of an experiment. So make sure that you are examining those IDs. And if you're not sure, check your state's DMV website. They have many examples of what is real and what is not. Also, I think, Laura, doesn't the NNA sell a book for this?
Yes, they have an ID checking guide and it gets updated every February every year.
I think Cynthia actually just posted that in the chat for us. Thank you. This has been a really good reminder about the basic things that we need to be looking for when we are identifying people, and how we tell you, like, go back to your training once a year and update your training and review everything, because when you know more, things hit you differently. Maybe we should be doing that at our DMV as well, going to visit the driver's DMV or what DPS, whatever it's called in your state, to see what are these new what do the new IDs look like, if they've changed at all. So great discussion, you guys. Let's get to Darlene in Florida. She's got a question for us. Hi, Darlene.
Yeah, hi, Jen. Hi, everybody. Great meeting. This is for Beth, Miss Beth. I'm interested in the loan signing training. I just don't know whereabouts it is on the website.
That's a simple question to answer for you. It's the third section over on that menu tab at the top. It says loan signing agent training.
Okay.
And when you get in there, Darlene, there is the guided training that you can take, or you can just start going through the modules.
Oh, I see it. It says digitally guided and track training new.
That's it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, there's pretty much every kind of training you can imagine on that Notary Stars website, honestly.
It's a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is a lot of stuff. You've been their lead instructor now for 7 years. So I'm assuming you are creating these programs as well, Beth?
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Awesome.
We track files and create scenarios and present them on a page by page kind of loan signing type basis. We'll take you through page by page, give you scripts for each of the documents that you might see. We do encourage you to create your own script, something that feels
Yeah.
true to you.
Yeah.
But we give you the points on the document to use as reference when you're creating your own process or script. So yeah, and we get pretty in depth. In depth. It's pretty intense training sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That means it's solid
Yeah.
training. Let's get to Cheryl. Cheryl, remind us what state you're calling from. Cheryl, you're on mute. Cheryl, are you there?
You
All
were.
right, we're gonna give Cheryl just a second. She might have stepped away from her desk for a moment or has it.
Oh,
Oh,
there
wait,
she
nope.
is.
I see her. Hi, Cheryl. Are you there? You just need to
Unmute.
unmute.
Oh,
There you go.
I was, I was on a call and not paying attention.
Oh, that's okay. You got a call. That's important. As a business owner, answer that phone. Number one rule. Tell
Like,
us what state you're in because I am
Oh,
forgetting.
California, San Francisco Bay Area.
Right. So, what is your question for us
I
today?
didn't have one. I was just interested in, how to find. I have the book from NNA on the driver's license,
Mhm.
but I think Laura just said they update it every February.
February.
Okay, so mine's out, but I know in October they had totally changed it. And I like what Matt was saying about how he actually went over it in October for his people. That was
Mhm.
good because a lot of people, there's so much changes in it. It's basically got the same information. They're just a little supposed to be easier, but I don't know. But I was just wondering, like, if you have an old book and somebody changes it, I was just trying to figure out if you could go to the California DMV, Nebraska, wherever DMV, if they would have a picture. And that's what I was trying to look up to see if they would have a current picture so that even if you have the book, if they give you something different, you can look it up. And maybe that girl could have said,
Mhm.
well, like Laura was saying, or you were saying, it's black and white. We don't do black and white in California, right?
No
I
state
think I
does.
no
And the
state does.
picture I showed was from the California DMV website.
Okay, yeah, I
But
saw that,
most,
and I was just looking on that, and I was wondering if other states had it too. So I was
Yep.
trying to go
Yeah.
through different ones because all of a sudden, it never occurred to me until this question came up, so I could update it. But that's what we need to do, I guess. If it looks bad, like you said, go on the what is it? Well, for California, it would be ca dot or dmv.ca.gov, and then look for the actual current look.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yep.
was a good idea. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
and
And I believe.
identification is so state specific. So for instance, I would think that most states don't have black and white, but I see that North Carolina does do black and white. So it's so important for you to go to your own DMV to go and see what your state ID cards, either the non-driver's ID or driver's license, is supposed to look like and what the security features are.
Yeah, very, very good point. Great reminder. So I love this call, right? Even
Yeah.
even those basic reminders, we need them every now and again. Daniel in Oregon, hi, how are you today?
I am good. How are you?
Good, good.
I
How's your
have
how's your
I
recovery going?
it's going okay. It's still slow, but I'm doing okay.
Good. I'm
But
glad to hear it.
two things to mention. I do have a question, but you were talking about trying to work with the DMV. If anybody has read the Book of Customer Service, which came out, you would notice that if you need to get in touch with the DMV, I would just say if you've read that book, good luck with that. Then because when it comes to customer service, I take the DMV out for a few rides. So I hope that I hope your experiences with the DMV go better than mine. I sent Matt a certificate I wanted to talk about. And I know a few weeks ago I talked about a hybrid certificate. The problem with this one's a little different because this one is one that is actually one of the only documents that's on the state Secretary of State's website. So it's not necessarily one they created, but it is one that they like. And is it possible, Matt, for you to share that?
You're muted, Matt, so we can't hear what you're saying.
There he goes. It's
And
slow
it's
today.
probably good that Beth is on this week because I know that she's kind of this is kind of one of her big areas. But so this one says state of county of it says subscribed, sworn, and acknowledged before me by the principal and subscribed before me by this by a witness, which is not true. It's two witnesses. It's also got another strange part about it is it says is and for the county of. Well, we haven't been commissioning notaries by county for since 1991. So that tells me that this particular this certificate and this form is at least 34 years old. So, anyways, is this something I just need to replace?
Let me ask a question, Daniel.
Mhm. Yeah,
Do you file a bond and or oath with your county recorder's office or
an
clerk's
oath,
office?
an oath, not a bond.
Okay, so then you are for a specific county. Even if you have statewide jurisdiction, you
Hmm.
still are for a certain county. So for example, here in California, I have statewide jurisdiction, but my oath and bond are on file with the county of San Francisco. So that would be what you would put in this box right
So,
here.
so what's the county? The county I took the oath in?
Correct, where your oath is filed.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, the
Well,
only
that's
one that I know that's different is Louisiana, right? They have parishes.
Parishes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're
And
different
they
than the
are
rest of
actually
us in the
commissioned.
counties.
Yeah, they're commissioned, I think, by their parish.
Right.
Yeah.
so I got an education today. How do I handle the subscribed, sworn, and acknowledged before me?
Are you allowed to do a hybrid
Yes,
certificate?
we
And
are.
okay, then you could use this as
Just do
is.
all the actions.
So it is in fact a is it two acts?
Not if you have a specific act you're authorized to perform called a hybrid.
We do not.
And
And
you've got multiple acts because you've got an oath going on and you've got an acknowledgement
Right.
of the signature going
Okay.
on by me, the principal, subscribed and sworn to me by the witness. And then you have a witness who's also has a notarial act going on.
Yeah,
I'd love for um, our guests to jump in.
I would too, because I'm reading this differently. I'm seeing that the signer is being subscribed and sworn, but I mean, subscribed, sworn, and acknowledged, but the witness is subscribed and sworn.
I agree with you, Daniel. You've got two different acts going on for two different signers. So
Right.
sworn and subscribed, sworn and acknowledged before me. That's the hybrid, but you've got the principal doing acknowledging to you that they signed it and subscribing and swearing to the contents of the document. So that would be Stacy Sloan as the principal, and
Right.
then subscribed and sworn to before me by the witnesses. So you've got a hybrid for the principal and you've got a jurat for the witnesses.
So there's three acts here.
Well,
I only
yes, if
count
you don't
two.
have if you don't have a hybrid act in your state, then there would be three.
That's
There
right.
would be an oath and an acknowledgement for the principal and an oath for the witness.
Okay.
Sis, plural.
Okay. So I'm not crazy and I was wrong. So it was a good
You were absolutely right. You were not crazy.
it was
I
a
might
good thing.
be because I thought I heard you say that you can perform a hybrid in Washington. You're in
You could
Washington, right?
I'm in Oregon and Washington, and they're the same on this regard. No, they are both acts. It does not mention whether a hybrid certificate is allowed or prohibited.
I have found, Daniel, that I can't really find any state that actually says, here's our hybrid certificate and you
Exactly.
can use
Right.
it. But what
Yeah.
I have found is behind the scenes, sometimes, particularly with a power of attorney document in particular, they have a wording that's a hybrid certificate that only is used for that particular type of document. And it's kind of codified behind the scenes. And Arizona is one of those that has it. There's another one I found that has that going on as well. Now, this looks like it has something to do with a power of attorney. That's what's making me say this, is that sometimes you'll find it like buried pretty deep, where they have this wording there that says this is the certificate for this power of attorney. And so then that's when you could use a hybrid in that particular instance only, and only for a power of attorney. In other instances, you'd have to start creating, getting your own certificates pulled together to replace it. Beth, you
Okay.
know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, 100% agree. And good spidey sense on this possibly being a power of attorney just based on the way they put this certificate together. And understand when Laura says she can't find the word hybrid anywhere, it's not a terminology that any Secretary of State uses.
Right.
It is a creation of the real estate industry. We call it a hybrid to identify it as some certificate that contains more than one act in it. So you can't go to your handbooks and look up the word hybrid. It's just not going to be there. But true, these types of certificates that contain a jurat and an acknowledgement are common in probate documents.
Yes.
Powers of attorney, that sort of thing. A lot of healthcare directives as well.
Yeah.
Arizona is specific to durable powers of attorney. So when she says it could be buried, she means that literally.
Yeah.
We can't do it on every power of attorney. We can only do a hybrid on a durable power of attorney. So these are things you really have to kind of dig into if you're going to figure it out in your own state, for sure.
And since you said you download this from the Secretary's website, I'm betting that there is a clause somewhere in your probate code regarding powers of attorney. We know this goes with the power of attorney because of the acknowledgement acceptance clause. I bet that's where you'll find it. And I bet it is, as Beth said, restricted to a certain type of power of attorney.
Well, this is a durable financial power of attorney.
There you go.
And if you go, it's probably the only certificate besides the advanced directive, which we have through the Oregon Health Authority, that the state will point you to and say, if you need one, here's a document. I haven't seen any other of the critical documents that the state will give you, as we do, recommendations of places you can find it. But it does have this document, and the Oregon Health Authority has a advanced directive that they like us to use, and that's it. So, but our laws are vague as to the use of hybrids. So whenever I see that, I just tread carefully. I've been dealing with this form now for 6 years, so I more or less just go with it. But I have been seeing that this looks weird, and it's something you guys have discussed both on Notary Stars and on this call in the past. So I just thought, hey, I saw this. I'm going to have the experts, all of them, on the one call today. Let's bring this up. So, anyways, thanks everybody. Good luck.
I love that, Daniel, using his time wisely because he's got a room full of experts to help him. So Tanzania had asked in the chat about this. Would it be wrong to attach? And I think she says I think she meant acknowledgement and a jurat, because this is a hybrid mess, the certificate that Matt was showing.
Yeah, in this case, if I can find the probate code, let's just assume there is probate code that says for a financial durable power of attorney, this is the certificate you use, then yes, it would be an error to attach an acknowledgement and a jurat.
Want to use it
because the law specifically calls for this specific certificate.
So let me comment on that going forward into loan signings. The real estate industry, when they started recognizing pushback from notaries saying, I can't do a hybrid certificate, they were creating packages with two separate certificates, a jurat and an acknowledgement for the same signer. Now we had to go back to our secretaries of state and say, you have to tell me whether I can do two certificates for one signature, or do I have to have two signatures and an acknowledgement for one signature and a jurat for the other? And we actually had to go through and write the secretaries of state. There are several of them that came back and said, no, you can only do one notarial act per signature. And
Yeah,
so,
some states it's okay. Like California, it's okay. But
yeah,
there's other states where it's not okay. So do you
yeah,
guys, do you see how complex our jobs really are? It
yep.
is not just, oh, that's an acknowledgement. Let me go ahead and sign and stamp it. We really have to read the statement sentence by sentence by sentence. And then look at what we just talked about. Matt mentioned probate code because that's probate documents. So we're going to be working with a certain kind of document that has some other direction under other law. And by the way, oh, they didn't see a need to tell the notary about that. There's nothing in the
That's
handbook
true.
that like connects the two together. And so then we have arguments with attorneys and we're saying, look, we can't do this. This isn't one of the ones that we're allowed to do. When in fact it could be. But what needs to happen is now that at least the 59 people on this call have heard, is that maybe it's under probate code because that's where those kind of documents live. And we might have to do research outside of our own handbooks. We might not ever find it there.
I was just thinking to myself, I love it when people tell me that this job, being a notary public, is simply about stamping a piece of paper and signing it because it could not be further from the truth. Next time anybody tells you that, invite them to this call so they
Yeah,
can sit in and listen, right? All right, guys, we have about
Matt, let's add that
yeah. We've got
to
about
our
15
list.
minutes left of this call. Please don't waste this opportunity with Beth on the call, answering your questions. Just raise your digital hand. And while we are waiting for that, I'm going to go to my list of questions. We have been talking a lot on this call about um, deed theft over the last couple of years. And how bad it's gotten. So, our first question from the question prompts are: what systemic improvements would you recommend to strengthen the notarial process in our increasingly digital and identity theft prone environment? Beth, what say you?
I can't speak to the digital aspect of it. I
Hmm.
don't delve into Ron. I know there are safeguards there. I know there are notaries who know how to get around those safeguards when they think they have a legitimate reason. But face to face, probably the two biggest areas of deed fraud are a seller moving, conveying property to somebody else, and family fraud,
Hmm.
familiar
Yeah.
fraud,
Hmm.
sons and fathers and daughters and fathers. And it's junior, senior, huge issue,
Yeah.
junior, senior. So those are the areas that I'm more focused on trying to be more diligent than ever and making absolutely 100% sure going forward that this is, not something that's going to come back to bite me.
Right. Laura, what say you, my friend?
Well, I'm not going to say much about digital or Ron, although I think that is a problem. I don't think they have deep enough safeguards. I think there are issues with platform security, and I think it's a little easier for that to happen that way. Now, that said, doing face to face, making sure I always have the signer in front of me. It is amazing for me to hear the stats about how many times deed fraud happens and that the signer wasn't in front of them for whatever reason. How can a notary not know you can't have, you don't have to have a signer in front of you? And then the identification and really pushing the identification when you're not satisfied. When I'm not satisfied, I do dig in. Let me see what's in your wallet. What's my location? I'm really don't feel that I have to notarize, right? I don't have to notarize it if I'm not satisfied with having that person in front of me. So I think the identification, thoroughness, I'm not just recording it, I'm examining the ID, I'm examining the person in front of me, and having a person in front of me, right? And I always think that in person is better. Not that it can't happen that way, but better than remote when it comes to deed work.
Yeah. Matt, do you have anything to add? I know you do.
Yeah, I can say this because every year, once a year, I sit in a room full of notary public administrators from across the country, and every year the information is the same. The number one violation, the number one, the most is non-appearance. Notaries do not make their signers appear
How can
before
that
them.
be?
How can that be? I
How
know.
can that
They're
be?
not they're not attending the TNT call or the MGM call. That's the problem. Fixed it.
Before you go on to your next caller, two things, because I saw we had the people participated in the survey. Thank you very much. And next week we'll have some news about that. But you know what, Jen? The other thing is we saw and heard about the accidental notary right at the beginning of the call and had a link put out for her. And then I got a chance to talk about mine, and Daniel put a link in for his, and I did not see anything for you. Could you tell us, the woman who's written the book about marketing? Would
Oh,
you
thanks,
tell us
Laura.
about your book and get that link in there, please?
Well, thank you, Laura. I would be happy to. I am copying it off of our cheat sheet as we speak. Guys, I wrote a book called On the Move, the relationship-driven five-point marketing system for mobile business success. It is about all mobile business, not just the notary business. And it's available on Amazon. I would love for you to check it out. And like as you have learned with Laura's project, please make sure if you've read it, can you go back and please leave me a review at that link in the chat? I would appreciate it so much. Beth, I want to hear quickly, what is the accidental notary about?
The accidental notary I came from title and escrow.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that job, you have to have a notarial commission. And my sister was a B of A branch manager for 35 years, had a commission. I was stunned at how much I didn't know when I got out of title and escrow and started doing mobile notary work. I was stunned at what
Same.
I didn't know. I was stunned at what my sister didn't know. She was stamping the line that says seal, right?
Mhm.
Signature line seal. She was stamping everything that I'm going, what?
I did that in the beginning. Yep. No, I come from a mortgage background. I ran a closing department and
Yep.
did not realize how much I didn't. I still have that thought. I had it a few minutes ago while we were talking, like, holy crap. I think Tanzania just put it in the chat perfectly. Just when I think I've got this notary thing down, new info.
You will never have it down. You don't know how much you don't know until you figure out what you don't know, and you're still finding out you're learning some more stuff.
Well, but that's,
Exactly.
you know,
But
EOs
that's
are
where it
given
was
that
from.
EOs are given that stamp just as a function of their job. They're not given their stamp and going and told, let me educate you about the intricacies of being a notary. They're like, just stamp this. And that's what they tell notaries to do when they come in their office,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Yep. Bank notaries are the same way. They're given a stamp
Uh,
and they stamp it. Listen, FedEx Kinko's, the big lawsuit that happened a few years ago, that was the same situation. They wanted to offer notarial services to their customers coming in. So everybody behind the desk had a commission, and they got themselves into hot water. They got sued for millions of dollars on a huge by the way, Laura, it was for a signer who didn't appear
Yep.
before the notary. That same situation. Shock. I know you're shocked. And they took it out of their stores. They said, this is
yeah.
high risk. This is horrible. There's no education. And I can see where they can think that was no education. At that time, there really wasn't much of any education. And they said, this is too high risk. We're not doing this. Today, even the notaries in UPS stores, I went in to get my commission renewal and bond notarized. She didn't give me my oath of office. I'm going, dang, I missed out. Not only that, it was illegal. Um, so when you think about the number of car dealerships, how many times have you gone in to buy a new car and they having you sign an affidavit for corrections, an affidavit that allows them to go, I don't know about California, how that's done, but an affidavit that allows them to, or a power of attorney that allows them to go register your vehicle and get your plates for you. That's signed in the finance office. There's not a notary in there. You didn't sign a notary book. You didn't see the notary stamp that power of attorney. They did it later after you left.
Mhm.
That's totally illegal.
Yeah.
But the reason that it happens is because nobody complains.
Yeah.
the consumer, the person on the other end, until they're presented with a situation where they have to employ that document and maybe it fails because the notarization was done incorrectly. That's the only time anybody ever gets caught doing it wrong. We need to stop that. We need to educate our notaries on how to be a great notary. We need to let them know that just because somebody in title and escrow tells you that you can identify them using a signature name affidavit, that you can stand up and say, I'm sorry, that's not one of my documents in my handbook that I can use to identify a signer. Doesn't work that way. So
preach, Beth, preach.
Well, get back, Beth. Tie that to the book, The Accidental Notary.
In the book, it goes through those scenarios and talks about the notary empowering themselves for that education and not being pushed around by title or lender or signing service into doing something illegal, to engage your brain and look in your handbook for those answers. And when you can't find it, call your Secretary of State's office. It's just opening your eyes to risky procedures that somebody who you perceive to be in power, title and escrow, your hiring party, attorneys, is forcing you to do. It's okay. We can do it this way. People do it all the time. Notaries do it all the time. I'm sorry. That's not the way it is. That's where the accidental notary was born.
I love that.
Didn't choose to be a notary. It came with the job. Now let's do that job right.
Let's do the job right. I love that. I love that that's so necessary. Matt, we need to get the book and do our little play scenarios. We've done some scenarios where I play the not so nice person, yelling at the notary, and Matt plays the very logical, level-headed notary and gives a good response. You can tell why, it's not me in that situation, but he gives that very level-headed response. And it's great to have the audience listen to the words that you can use, that even though you perceive these people to be in power, being able to have that kind of conversation with your own level of confidence, I think is so important. So I love that you're putting that out in the world and making it easier for notaries to develop that confidence and be able to stand up for what's right, because it is difficult. It is difficult. So I love we have a resource for that now. But let's get to Latara.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Latara in California, and I just had a general question. I almost had my first notary rejection because I attached an acknowledgement certificate, I believe it was to a employment verification, and it was missing a venue. So I crossed out and said, please see attached certificate. And the lady called me back a couple of days later and said that, or a week later, saying that they didn't like the cross out. They said it was legit on their end, but then she made an appointment with me to get it redone. But then she ended up calling back and said, okay, well, they did accept it. My question is, if I had the correct certificate in the first place that was attached, can someone still reject it even though it's notarized?
Yes.
Well, yes. Sure, receiving agencies can do what they wish. If they're not familiar and they don't like you putting a strike on it or whatever, it's not their wording, they can say, I don't like this, I don't want this, I want you to redo it. However, if in fact you did do it correctly and you really can't change anything you've done, then it takes some education on their part, on your part to their part, to help describe, look, this is what I'm allowed to do within my state. Those are the rules that I followed. I'm not going to be able to use words you guys made up, or I'm not going to be able to do it. Now, the one thing, Latara, that I can do, for instance, you're in California, is the venue's the issue. It tells us in our handbook that we are allowed to fix a venue.
Okay.
We strike the county, put the new county, and put our initials. That is acceptable correction. But beyond that, after the venue, we're not supposed to fix anything else. We're not told we're authorized to do so. So if there's an issue, that's when we must attach instead.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the clarification.
Beth, do you have anything that you want to add to that? Or Matt?
Well, I can tell you that in loan signing, sometimes the lender will not authorize any strike-throughs whatsoever.
Yeah, they don't
So,
like them.
yeah, and you guys are really particular out there, you lenders.
You know, if you have to attach, you don't have to strike the previous certificate. So don't put a strike through it. Just put a C attached at the bottom and attach your certificate and leave it open. You're not signing it. You're not filling it out.
And when
Okay.
someone pushes back and you know you've done it lawfully, you can always send them excerpts from your handbook, send them links to the actual code that you're following. For example, we get this a lot in California for jurats because we always have to replace a jurat. There are no exceptions. And so I just keep on my phone a little excerpt from the handbook that talks about the jurat. And every time I send them that, I never hear from them again because then they, I don't know, for lack of better words, believe me then.
Yeah.
Well, that's 100% the right thing to do for sure.
You're showing proof. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's
Exactly.
get to Carla. I know she had a follow-up question for Matt and Laura. Carla?
I do. Thank you for getting back to me again. My question is, I have an insurance license now for the last 45 years, and I still get changes from the Department of Insurance. My question is, shouldn't be also getting some changes from the Secretary of State or from DNV about the changes in the driver's license or anything with the notarial changes?
Well, I think there's a small difference between your insurance license and the office of the notary public, where we don't have a license. So that's the first thing. So licensure has different responsibilities and requirements. The office, the Secretary of State does publish. You're in California, and they publish a newsletter every year, and they say these are the changes, if there are changes, to publish. But it is up to us as the notary to go to the website and go look at it. They publish it every January. So anybody who's in California, if you're not going to your Secretary of State's office to the website every January, it's usually towards the end of January, to see the newsletter. Because not only does it state what law changes we've had, it also talks about certain practices, and this is what they mean. It also, like one of them talked about, what does it mean to attach a document? It doesn't mean a paper clip. It means a staple. That's what they mean. So this kind of information you must seek out. There's a place to get it, but it's on us holding the office to go get it. They're not going to send it to us. Now the DMV and their changes, I would love for them to send stuff to me when they're changing stuff. But again, I need to go there. So yes, it would be lovely if they would just send stuff to me so I'd be updated. But I am going to need to take that on. So going to the DMV once a year to see, hey, does the ID there look like what I've been seeing? Going to Secretary of State's office website to check for their newsletter and see what they talk about will keep you current. Now, I cannot speak for the other 49 states if they put out an annual newsletter or how they communicate with their notaries. But in California, I can say this is how it's done. And of course, membership with the NNA, their bulletins, they do publish changes as they're happening.
Thank you so
much. That
Yeah, I really appreciate your distinction between a licensee and an appointed commission public official. We're expected to be a little bit more responsible than a licensee. So yeah, we need to do our own research most of the time. And yes, I wish that there were like, action alerts that came out from the office, but that's just not going to happen. And they also encourage your involvement in organizations because we can much more timely get that information out than a very large constitutional agency where notary is one of several dozen other things that they're doing.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And guys, guess what? We are at the end of our time. Diana and Melissa, please bring your questions back next week. Thank you for being patient about that. Guys, we want to honor everybody's time today, so we are going to wrap up this call that seems like it went by in about 3.5 minutes, Beth. We are so grateful that you took the time to be with us today, to hang out, offer your perspective, your expertise. Thank you so very much. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for inviting me, and thanks for putting up with me, because I do get on a bandwagon sometimes.
Hey, listen, we are passionate people about what we do, right? There's nothing wrong with that. All right, guys, as I do every week, I'm going to put Laura on the spot to close us out. Miss Notary of the Year,
Okay.
what say you?
Well, I'm going to repeat something that Tom Brady said. And of course, I love him because he's the GOAT. All right. The truth is, you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't: consistent, determined, and willing to work for it.
So true. So true. Thank you so much, Laura. Thanks everybody for joining us. Matt, thanks for all the help. Guys, we'll see you next week. We're just regular TNT next week, but we want to see you there. And please fill out the Zoom survey after this call. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey,
Hi, guys.
Jen,
Yeah.
I had court yesterday.
Oh, wait, hang on, honey.
Okay.
Let me, I gotta end I'm gonna end the meeting.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Do you want to call me, Rochelle?
Yeah, I'll call you.
Yeah,